how your breath controls everything. Let me just change hands here. How your breath controls everything. So this came up this morning when we were preparing our warriors for their session. And naturally, they're a little bit sleepy, potentially a little bit, not just sleepy, but just kind of not 100% with it. And that comes from their breath. Not in terms of morning breath, I mean in terms of how they're breathing when they're first awake, when they first wake up, how their heart rate has been slowed right down overnight. So your breath really does control everything. If you look at how your breath is when you're in a fight or flight state, it's short and sharp, the body's ready, the body is pumped full of cortisol, and that breath is pretty shallow. Whereas if you are getting ready for something, if you're in a relaxed state, if you're putting yourself into a confident stance, your breath tends to be much deeper, much more controlled, and energizing, I guess. Energizing. So one way that we can control our breath is doing different kind of breath techniques, right? And the breath technique that we used this morning was box breathing. So box breathing, if you think about the four sides of a square, four equal sides, and what we do is we breathe for 4 seconds, then we hold for 4 seconds, and then we breathe again for 4 seconds, and then we hold for 4 seconds. So, as an example, if you're listening to this on a podcast, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it goes like this. You're going to breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to breathe 1, 2, 3, 4. Then hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how the cycle continues. And this is going to take you out of the parasympathetic nervous system or mode. It's going to take you out of that fight or flight mode, and it's going to put you into a really calm and relaxed state, a ready state, a content state, and one that really focuses you a lot more than if you're breathing shallow. So when we're breathing, especially in box breathing, we breathe through our nose, and even just the breathing through the nose helps to calm the whole body. So rather than breathing through the mouth, which yes, you can initially get more air in, but it tends to be a lot more shallow than when you're breathing through your nose. It's instantly more calming if you breathe through your nose. So there's deep breaths in, and you're looking for belly breaths. So when you're breathing in, you're looking to fill the belly with air rather than moving the shoulders. So rather than a breath in through the nose and lifting and lowering the shoulders, which equates to you breathing and not taking in much air because you're kind of just filling the top third of your lungs. If we breathe in through the belly button, then you get more kind of diaphragmatic breathing, i.e. you're using your diaphragm, you're using that belly, you're filling it up, you're getting a lot more oxygen in, which can then be pumped around the rest of your system. And what I've found is when you start breathing properly, or when you start breathing better, you actually find you may get a little bit lightheaded because your body's not used to so much more oxygen. So give that a go, and I recommend using it when, well, first thing in the morning to set your mind set, to set your attitude for the rest of the day, and at any point where you may feel stressed or where you want to take back control of your nervous system so that you're not nervous, you're actually primed, is to use that box breathing technique. So you can start off with 4 seconds, and the 4 seconds is for the breathing and the holding. Or you can make the number bigger. You can go 5, which means that you're going to be breathing for 5 seconds, holding for 5, and then breathing again for 5. Or you can make it 6. You can gradually build up over time, but start with the 4. Okay, start with the 4-second box breathing, and it really does help to calm the whole body, mind and spirit, purely through you taking that time to do nothing but breathe, to concentrate and focus on breathing. Can do so much. It's such a simple technique that is often overlooked, but can be so powerful. So give that a go. Let me know how you get on. Box breathing. Start with 4 seconds.